click live. Let me see if it's feeding through.
Yeah, but we are live now, so fine.
Share.
There you go. That's great. Put a watch party in your group, so all your loyal supporters will be watching as well. So
right now, live with a G.
But we will wait a few people to come on. So what have you done? What did you do? Were you locked down? Obviously, you're at home, working on your business, planning your business.
Yeah.
Planning how to grow it.
Yeah, with the help of Royston, we've done really well to kind of roll out. We had 3 pivot plans throughout the whole lockdown. So as soon as it was announced, we had like pivot plan 1.0, and then we gave that a few weeks, and then pivot plan 2.0, just to it was. I guess it didn't really affect us. It did affect us a lot, but operationally didn't affect us too much because we were already set up quite well for remote working. For our agents are all remote. Our office team had the tech to be remote, but they were just all in the office. But now we're still at home. Probably won't open the office for a long time. And even when I do, I've already agreed with the team that Monday and Fridays will be in the office, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, everyone will be at home.
Yeah.
And I've just had that bad boy done. Where is it? I've got literally behind those doors is the new home office that I can't wait to get in. It's been finished for about a week, but the electrician ain't come yet. He's coming Monday to juice it up.
So I thought that was a swimming pool.
That's the kids' paddling pool. See, in those doors there.
Well, yeah, no, I thought that was a swimming pool in there with like a sauna.
Mate, I'll take that. Not yet.
Okay, brilliant. Well, look, Perry, thanks very much for joining today. Really grateful for your time. You've got so many fans out there, which is fantastic. So when I asked who would they like to see, it's like, Perry, get him on.
He's always good. It sounds like I'm Justin Bieber or something.
you got the looks as well, and the boy band as well.
Are you a believer?
So, I'm a who? Never heard of him. I don't even know who Justin Bieber is, but I'm sure he's good. So, for those people that don't know who you are, I know you're on a mission to improve estate agency, one move at a time, and there you go. Your biggest fans already on, Lisa Curran. Love you, Perry. Thanks, Lisa. I'm gonna remember that. There's like 2 of us on this, not just one.
Perry? Is this the Lunchtime Learning of Perry or Stephen?
No, Perry, obviously. Got nothing to do with me. Hi, Michael. Thanks for joining us. Pleased you're looking forward to it. So thanks. So you're on a mission to improve estate agency, one move at a time. So just share your story, because I know your story. I'm sure I know Lisa knows your story, Michael knows your story, and James. But it's going to go out to a few more people. So for those people that live in a cave and don't know who you are and how you got into agency, you'd be kind enough to share your journey. Hi, James Dawson, up the Spurs.
So I'll keep it really short. So at the age of 12, I was fortunate enough to know that I was going to be an estate agent. So now it's mad, isn't it?
As you do.
My son's 11, and I was like, you've got a year to decide what you want to do. And yes, I was 12, knew I wanted to do it because my mum had a really bad experience, single mum, blah, blah, blah. Went into left school, was working in an agency on Saturdays, like as a 15-year-old, went full-time at 16. All with a goal. My mum's got a business card that I made when I was 12 called Powers Estate Agents, Surveyors and Valuers. We haven't quite got the surveying arm yet. And so I knew what I wanted to do, always with the view of having my own estate agency, because my family, my dad had his own roofing business before he pissed it up the wall, bless him. My mum has always had her own businesses. So I knew I'd want to run an agency. Then I started one. It was all good for a year or two. Then I realised you actually need to be a business owner to run a business. So then I nearly went under, took some good help, and now Power Bespoke is nicely growing organically. And at the same time, you see, I want to improve the industry because I think agents get a bad rap. We are proper professionals. But my main goal, I guess, is to enable more people to move on to the next chapter of their life. And that's interesting because Royston coaxed it out of me, because it's not just about Mr. and Mrs. Smith moving from a 2-bed to a 3-bed or a 3-bed to a 4-bed. It equally is about agents that want to get onto their next level as well, or their next chapter, whatever that might be. And that's where the kind of training bits come along. I was coaching and training our own agents. I was getting quite a few people wanting to jump on that training as well. And I just thought, great, jump on it.
Brilliant. So what have you done to add value to make a difference? So one of the things I love is that you've got a Facebook group to help consumers, where you're totally adding value. You're helping them. Presumably they're not your customers. They may be one day, but this is what agency is about for me: adding value, making a difference. Hi Eddie, thanks for joining us. So why did you start that Facebook group for consumers, and what sort of response have you had?
So something I learned early in my career from the awesome John McGrath, who you've had on, he's my David Beckham. So talk about Spurs, like, I don't follow football, I've got 2 left feet, and but when I was younger, like, he was the North Star. So he was like McGrath's and John McGrath, and the Australian model was just way better than the American model, in my opinion. And they always used to talk about kind of treat everyone like your client before they become your client, and guess what, they'll become your client. So we started quite early at Power Spoke. When I first started it was very content driven, advice videos. There's my very first video on YouTube, and it's really interesting to watch it back, but it was good advice back then. It's still relevant now. So yeah, give the advice first and foremost. We've got like seller online courses that are free to join, like the A to Z on how to sell your house for a premium price. We've got the Facebook group, the property advice community, which seems to be, it gets spammed to hell. I can't believe the amount of people think that marketing is just reposting a post in a group. But yeah, it's given that value, and then you get your phone ringing saying, I kind of made the decision very early on, and it's my advice to all agents that are on my course, in that social media, there's such an amount of things that you could be doing, that I made a decision always to, any lives or advice I put out, it's always around strategic strategies for selling your house. So I don't do the selfies outside of houses. You've never seen me do one of those, because it's just something I decide that's not what I use social for. We'll do videos, but they'll be done by a video company. So yeah, give, and receive later.
So Andy Overman, you got another fan, calls you Pezza. And Andrea, thanks very much for joining. Hope you're well. Talk to me about John McGrath then, because I'm a massive John McGrath, and John McGrath to me is the best agent I've ever come across. And John keeps things incredibly simple, and actually makes agency look so simple. How did you come across John?
You know what? I don't even know. It was probably because it's way back. I opened my first agency in 2010 with a business partner, just years ago. I think it was even Charlie Wright, actually, who, when I first opened my business, yeah, he did. It was him who run Easy Match software and stuff. He said, you've got to check out John McGrath. And so I've become obsessed. So I'm a real obsessive kind of person, right? So luckily I don't do drugs, because that'd be a nightmare. Not anymore anyway. But
you heard that here live.
I said, I researched, coaches and people to me is like choose your news source, right? So everyone's got their own place. Some read the Daily Mail, some read something else. And if you read everything and take everyone's advice, you're going to have so much conflicting advice, because everyone's got a different opinion on the world. So I always only choose 1 or 2 sources of information, which is, you're one of them. You'll be pleased to know, Stephen.
Hey, thank you. And I didn't pay you for that one.
You've got your John McGrath, and his kind of ecosystem of Troy Malcolm and Matt Steinway and those kind of people, and Royston. That is pretty much, as horrible as it sounds, there's lots of good advice out there as well. but I ain't got the time to research and be obsessed with 20 people. I can only watch your stuff, Royston's stuff, and McGrath's stuff. So I get obsessive and I stick to my sources.
Who's Matt Skywalker Jones?
He's been my manager years ago. He's a legend. Yeah.
Well, boy band manager.
Yeah. To be fair, we used to have this little finger hand on, like we used to do singing in the office, and this little. Do you remember the advert for Bev and Kev for the insurance company? Used to go, Bev, Kev. Matt will know. Matt would be laughing his head off now.
Fair enough. Okay, so one of the questions I've got asked is about CRM systems. So I know you like your tech. So let's start with CRM systems, and what tech really works for your agency.
So I think CRM in this country is like, which one should we go with? Dupix or something or other, expert agent, and that really ain't what it's about. I don't think anymore. My dog. One sec. Right. They're two girls. So CRM, I've had a nightmare with it because our business is quite unique in how it's structured with agents, agent assistants. We've got they're self-employed agents, but we've got a viewing team as well. And there was no real. Most CRMs in this country are set up for the traditional neg, lister, manager kind of structure. So I thought I'd hit jackpot because I signed up to Rex, and it is a really good system, Rex, but it was a little bit under UK developed for what we needed at the time. And I'm sure it become brilliant because it's Australian. I was like, I'm going to love this because it's Australian. And then it just didn't suit our requirements. So we moved over to Salesforce, which was a massive step, a massive investment, which probably was a bit too, maybe too early for us. But I wanted to grow into the software. I looked at Salesforce, the biggest CRM platform in the world, the most open API, talks to anything that talks. And I looked at it 3-4 years ago, but we just weren't ready for it. Now we've got 12 agents. We've got quite a few on the waiting list that will be on board in the next couple of years, and it's unreal. Like, the stuff you can do with it is just. We've got a full-time developer based in India who's fantastic. I don't know when the guy sleeps, bless him. Like, you message him on Skype, and within a minute he's replied. Right. So anything we can dream of. So the minute an offer drops in on a property, so all our offers come in online. That was the wind. All our offers come in online, and the minute an offer drops in, the agent gets a text message saying you've got a new offer on so and so with the buyer's phone number. Jump on it. So whether they're at home, in the office, on the road, obviously with hands free, they can call them back. Well, good.
Fantastic. So how long did it take you to source that?
2 years. Hey, 2 years. Literally, I was looking for 2 years. I tried everything and found it. And now we moved over in January, February time. And we've been developing it ever since. It's really good software. But we've probably spent 20 grand. It's probably the worst time because I signed up to it in February, not expecting March and April was going to go how it went. So I was kind of committed to it, but it ended up being a blessing in disguise because it gave me so much time to spend with the developers, getting all the important stuff done, ready for coming back out the blocks.
Yeah, and I know Luke uses it as well, and he had exactly the same thing. He made use of lockdown to actually get everything right, roll it out to all his colleagues, so they could use it, and he absolutely loves it as well. So Lisa, I know you love Perry. Does that answer your question?
Lisa and I can chat. We can talk about that, Lisa, if you want more information on that. I done a webinar on it, but I think you missed it. But I will send you the link because I did record it. It's 2 hours. I did go off on a right tangent and talking about loads of other stuff, but stick it on in the background one day in the office.
So again, let's talk about the customer journey, and you talk about you want to improve a estate agency one move at a time. So one of the things that you give out to your vendors is a 11-step plan.
Yeah.
So again, you know, and you talked about it before. I like your language. I love your language. Premium price. So you're talking the language your customer wants to hear. You know, again, apart from the 11-step plan, you know, maybe if you're happy to share, what sort of things will go in there to help a vendor on their journey?
Just advice around like it's basically a booklet, so we've got it in booklet form. It's an A4 booklet. We've got it on YouTube video. Each video is a step of the plan. We've got like a playlist on a YouTube account that we send out a lot. And yeah, it's just pricing correctly, when to launch, how to market, social media campaign. Like, it just breaks it down into smaller chunks. And I see it's great that a lot of agents now have created their own version of the plan, but I've seen agents do like a 20, you know, I think one of them was like a 47 steps for selling your house. I think it's really important that you don't over bombard the client with the minuscule details. It's just knowing that you've got a structure and a plan that works. We stick to it. The plan is the plan. The only thing that changes in the plan is the property in the plan. And whether it's a studio flat or a multi-million-pound house, we apply this in every house, and this is more predictable result.
Brilliant. So what else do you do to add value for the customer in their journey to their next chapter?
So we're obviously negging their purchase for them and giving them advice, professional advice, and negging their purchase, because negotiation is the one skill that can't be replaced by technology just yet. That's it, really. We've got the move machine that we had. We haven't got it anymore, because when we were completing on more and more properties, we needed to have like seven vans because everyone wanted it at the same time. And we're not in the business of removals, but we've replaced that with a really good connection with van hire companies where they get discount on their van hire. Our little old van wasn't big enough for some people as we were growing, so we just thought, let's get them a discount with a really good local company.
Yeah.
We linked up with another good little thing. If agents aren't, we're linked up with Just Move In, a really good utility concierge home moving service. Really, really good. They're literally, you tell them when you've exchanged, when completion is, and they call the owner, handle utility changeovers, organise a clean on the way out if they want it, and really good. Home move concierge service, they're called.
Thank you. Hi, Owen. Thanks for joining us. So I totally agree about negotiation. So estate agents, to me, should be skilled negotiators. So how do you train your team, your colleagues? And I know that you are running a course on negotiation, which is great. But how do you how are you teaching negotiation? And maybe you and I can do a little bit of practice in a sec.
It's only really talking less, but as you'd imagine, I'm a bit of a process freak at times, and so we've got like our negotiation guide for buyers as well. 30 mistakes to avoid when negotiating. But so a big part of agents joining us is that they go through their advanced negotiation training, which I'm running another one on the 31st of July. Because we've got a couple of new agents that need to go through it, and I opened it up to more people. It's now, to be honest, it's now full, so there's no more people, there's no more spaces available. But it's really good, and I think negotiation. I've always said to clients, if the FBI need a specialist negotiator to talk someone down from a bridge, you need me to negotiate your sale and purchase. Like, it's an important thing. Like surgeons, like one of our biggest blog posts that gets the most organic traffic is like, what surgeons and selling your house have in common. Like, has he done one open heart surgery or 500? What would you prefer? But sellers aren't asking those kind of questions, and it gripes me.
So Perry, how long have you lived in your current home for?
Just over a year.
Okay, and who did you buy it through?
The builder.
The builder. Okay, so let's take that. Your last home, did you buy that through an estate agent that wasn't you?
This was my first time purchase.
This was your phone. Oh, this is not doing well. Okay, so let's just see your builder. Okay, just out of interest, would you have paid more money for your home? that you bought?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, how much more? How much more would you have paid?
For over 10 grand.
Okay, would you have lost it for another grand?
Nah.
So 11. Would you have lost it for another grand?
Nah.
Another grand?
Probably not.
Okay, where are we going here? How much more then? You test 10, 20 seconds ago. We're now up to 13. How much more would you have paid? And then I'll go and ask Natasha and see how much she would have paid.
She would have paid. Well, the irony is about this house is that I negged an awesome deal on another plot down the road. Like I
Yeah.
walked away, and in this one, I didn't get as good a deal as I probably could have done because I was so busy and we'd just lost that one. It was a nightmare. But yeah, look, totally get that most buyers. I think too many agents, right? So one of our steps in negotiation is push until they walk away, and then go running back with your tail between your legs. Like, and I think agents don't understand that the three areas of a negotiation. They just only think about the one area, which is price. But when you've got fixture and fittings and timescales to leverage on as well, you know, we all know that the average buyer will probably max out on the third offer. You might squeeze them to a fourth if you're really good, but then you'll throw in the American fridge freezer that they were creaming over on the viewing. So it's just really about not settling for getting a deal done. And this is why we moved to Salesforce. Is when our agents log in on the homepage, the first thing everyone sees is the percentage of asking price achieved by agent breakdown. So it's not about money. It's not about who's got the highest average fee, who's got the most listings. It's like who's achieving the highest average percentage of asking price. And at the minute, I'm at the bottom of that list.
Oh, we won't tell anyone. Lucky I don't have any viewers, so you're fine. Okay. Okay. So a couple of things. So coming back to what I was trying to do there.
Yeah, sorry.
So I got an extra of £13,000 for you. So if I can demonstrate to my vendor when I'm on an appraisal how good I am on negotiating, then hopefully fee won't come into it. So, you know, if I said to you, right, Perry, what would you prefer, a cheap fee or more money in your pocket? What would you say?
Yeah, with more money. Yeah, totally.
Okay. Well, you know, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you, you know, when you bought that property, would you have paid more money? You know, and you've told me, yes, I would have paid £13,000. So let me ask you a question, Perry. Who would you prefer to act for you selling your biggest tax-free asset? Me, who's demonstrated in 30 seconds, I would have got you an extra that vendor will be extra £13,000, or the agent that cost your vendor £13,000 for their biggest tax-free asset. Who would you prefer?
Yeah, the one to get me
Okay.
the most money.
Well, the investment in my services is 2% plus that, or whatever you charge, you know, and that's a great way of demonstrating, you know, how good you are a negotiator. And you're spot on. The analogy about, well, who do you want, you know, again, heart surgeon, someone who's doing it for the first time or somebody who's doing it for 100 times. That's what you've got to pay for, you know, and it's demonstrating that.
The thing is I was the one that hadn't done any surgeries a few years back. So everyone's got their own things to leverage on, because I'll be saying to them, look, I totally get it, but I ain't been doing it 15 years. I've been doing it 6 months. I'm going to have more energy than anybody else coming through your front door. But it's really what I've learned with negotiation and through the power agent course really is people have got a real lack of confidence probably in themselves. I'm a bit lucky, I think, because I'm borderline. I don't know. People have got their opinions of me, but I know I'm shit at an estate agency. I'm not saying I'm shit at running an estate agency. I've got a lot to learn there, but if I can't say after maybe even 17 years nearly, that I'm a world-class agent, then there's something wrong with me. I've wasted 17 years of my life. And there's a lot of agents that need just to be told that they are freaking awesome, even if they're like the world's best person at showing houses. A big part of the course is like when I read The One Thing by Gary Keller, really good book, talks about, you know, focusing your time on one thing at a time, all that kind of stuff. But when I was reading that, what I got was, what's the one thing that you're the best in the world at? Like, that's not being arrogant or overconfident. It's just recognizing that if I've spent 17 years negotiating and I can't say I'm one of the best in the world, then I've got a problem. So it all stems. The average agent I've found won't be able to have that kind of conversation that you and me would have just had, because they lack the confidence in themselves, whether it's internal, their upbringing. I was lucky that my mum she wanted me to start my LEC when I was 18. I was like, easy, mum. I don't want to blow you 25 grand. So I waited until I was 22. But it's a really interesting thing, confidence. And I think generally, professionally and personally, a lot of people lack it. And if you can nip that one in the bud, your fees will come.
Okay, so you touched on there qualities of a world-class estate agent. So negotiating is one. What other qualities do you think agents need to have to be elite, world-class, a master of estate agency?
So a genuine empathy, not an empathy for a 10 grand average fee, an empathy for how they get that 10 grand average for helping people. And it's interesting, you see, because I don't even think negotiation is a skill you got to have. I think it goes back further than that to kind of structure and discipline. And that's exactly why I produced the Power Planner, which is like a daily planner for a high-performing estate agent. Because as long as you've got the discipline to block your diary and say, I'm going to spend an hour watching YouTube videos about negotiation, you'll get better at negotiation. Really ain't rocket science. But people lack the discipline to turn their phone off, turn it upside down, put it on Do Not Disturb. But I'm brutal when it comes to, because I know from 6 till 8, I've got to be a dad. I've only got and I'm a late riser. I'm not a 5 a.m. kind of person. So I've got from 10 till 6 to be a great estate agent. And being an estate agent, there's a million things that are thrown at you. So when it comes to my improvement time or my client updates on a Monday, no one's getting any conversation, not even my team. We tell our team, let's keep the kind of internal chit chat minimum on a Monday, because Monday's all about clients. So if you're asking me about an offer, save that until after hours or on Tuesday, because that ain't to do with your client updates. The discipline and structure is the root of every piece of success. I really believe that.
I totally agree. So, my favorite C word, consistency.
Probably ain't the same as mine, but yeah.
Consistency. So Tom McGee can't watch this live, so we'll catch up later, but wanted to say hello to two of the most helpful people in agency. That's our dogs. I think that's two. So thank you. Liz, great stuff. Got to go, but we'll catch you later. Thanks both. And Lisa, sorry I had to drop off now. Going to watch on replay. But thanks everybody for joining. And if you're watching on replay, thanks very much. Really appreciate it. And so
let's labour that a bit more, because it's really, structure and discipline, consistency. I get it. You're a big fan for small nuggets, I think. Stephen, am I right? Kind of hour prospecting a day, little and often. It's like eating healthily and all that, which clearly I don't do. But whereas I'm the fan, I'm the opposite. I'm a kind of, that is so my door. Do you want to give me 2 seconds and I'll
go on.
Trying to say.
Yeah. So I talked about myself. So if you're watching this now, can you please comment on a couple of things that you've taken away, what you like, what you thought Perry has said? I mean, for me, a couple of my takeaways so far is, learn from the best. So John McGrath, absolutely exceptional. Treat everyone like customers as well. The advice videos, I think, is excellent. The van hire. So look at that for discounts, for concierge service as well. And again, what sort of training program have you got for your team? So hello.
Hey. Sorry.
So I was just sharing my takeaways and asking people what their takeaways are. So Andy Overman, train negotiator line was superb. Thanks, Andy.
I think
discipline and consistency and structure.
Yeah, so it's right on the top floor, so I won't go and get it. But our power plan on the front page is focus, discipline, consistency, and something else. What did we just say? Focus, discipline,
consistency.
Yeah, something like that. And it's like, because everybody, every agent, every business owner, everybody's got the same amount of hours in a day. We bang on about it. But I find estate agents don't kind of control. So when a new client instructs me, I'll give them my schedule. I'll be like, look, let me, and I'll leave it on appraisal as well and say, look, if you try and call me on a Monday, I'll do my best to reply, but it's all about client updates on Monday. So it might be later in the hours, maybe 7 o'clock, I'll return your call. So I've kind of managed expectations. I explain that morning's all about follow-ups and offer negotiations. My afternoons are always in houses, or so it's very clear, and I work to that structure like it's yeah, no one can break it. So what I was saying before I left to answer my door is that I'm a very like Friday for me is new business day, prospecting, and I'll do the same amount of hours as what someone that maybe prefers your structure of an hour a day. But I've got this theme that if 80% of my day can be focused on the thing that is the theme of the day, then I'm doing well. Because the odd thing will come in, obviously, that not a client or an offer drops in. You're not going to ignore that until Monday. But that structure and discipline and consistency and focus is just has to be nailed in before you even start to grow as an agent.
And how would so there's people on here, their teams most probably are struggling with time management, choice management, getting that scheduled in their diary. What advice would you give to people to become more structured, more disciplined, more consistent, to make sure that they're doing it?
So out of office reply on your emails goes on. So I treat and I say to our team, treat a Friday as a kind of extended weekend, like a 4-day weekend, because we've got viewing teams and our agents don't work many Saturdays because I believe in 2-day recuperation is really important for high performance. But yeah, manage it, on your Monday client updates, make sure you're finishing off. If you've got your client update checklist, you've got your Loom video on there, showing them what's come on the market around them recently, what's gone under offer recently, and if things stay as they are, we might need to lower the price that offers in excess of this strategy. Start with that conversation early. You've got your tell clients I'm not around on Friday, like tick it off the list, and proactively manage it. People think, oh, I'm going to try and do some prospecting on Friday, but don't tell anyone. They don't tell their clients. They don't tell their team. They don't tell their wife. And I'm just off the radar. My phone's off. Diverted to the office. If you need me, our kind of internal saying is, unless it's business threatening or life threatening, it can wait.
Okay, brilliant, great motto. You mentioned Loom there. Yeah. So what's that, and how do you make use of that then?
So Loom is like McDonald's drive-through was invented for estate agents. Loom was also invented for estate agents. So it's the most amazing thing where you can do a quick screen recording. Mine average every Monday without fail. Every client gets a Loom video. And on the checklist that I go through for a Loom video, it's like a quick flick into Rightmove Plus to show them the performance. Oh, it's dropped, so I'm going to rotate the picture to keep it fresh. Not many viewings this week, probably because that one come on the market 20 grand less than yours and they're nicking them all. Look at that one. That one sat on the market for 8 months, no price reduction, now gone under offer. So don't panic. Doesn't mean you're not going to sell. All that kind of stuff. And it's recording your screen whilst you're doing it with your little head in the corner, or you can turn that off. Every client gets that dropped in the WhatsApp group on a Monday. And then they say, hey, John, here's a quick update. Give you a shout between 5 and 6. In case you got any questions. Most of them are like, thanks, Perry. No other questions. Keep doing what you're doing. And it's not only is it a great strategy to preempt the reduction, typical estate agent approach. Oh, fucking a client won't reduce. But that's because you've just landed on like a ton of bricks. You didn't start that 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago in your Loom videos. But also goes in the WhatsApp group and they love it. So
it sounds like you've got a process for absolutely everything. So you talk about discipline, you talk about structure, you talk about process. That's why you're elite.
Yeah, look, I didn't go to university. I didn't go to college. I'm terrible at sports. My thing is estate agency, obsessed with it, and being in the top quartile, whatever you want to if you're going to spend 80% of your time, an estate agency is, and I'm going to do a live soon with Sam Hunter from Home Search, be a really good live. Can self-employed estate agents really work the hours they want? Like, absolutely doing my nutty in that there's companies out there that are suggesting you can work the hours you want. But if 80% of your time spent doing estate agency, why not have a bit of swagger about yourself and know that you're shit at it because you stick to a structure, you know what to say, when to say it, you're leveraging technology to be a better agent, you're not allowing technology to replace you as an agent, and get your fees up, higher fees, push them fees up. I had a bit of a Barney with someone online the other day because he was like, I charge what I need to charge. I'm like, well, you need to charge more. Why wouldn't you? Give it to charity if you want. So yeah.
It's crazy. I heard a good saying. Well, I've heard it twice. I heard it differently before. So before it was every winner was once a beginner. So there's going to be people on here that wonder, God, Perry, he's got so much energy. He's so passionate. He's got so much energy. He absolutely loves it. Where did all that come from? And the other one was every professional was once a winner, was once a beginner. Every professional was once a beginner, and that's it. So whether it's all the guests that I've had on here, we've all started at the beginning, and we've all learned. And you said earlier about John McGrath and other people that you follow that you're learning for, and I like the fact that you say, right, put an hour watching YouTube videos that's going to help you and self-improve. That's absolutely fantastic.
But it's also worth, and I'm happy sharing it with people. And in my client kind of schedule that I share with them, I've got an hour every day in that schedule that they see on personal development. Why won't I share it with them when it's something that they're like, oh, okay, so he's pretty focused on self-improvement, which is good. Yeah, I think if it ain't coming from a place of passion, we're in a world now where you can just come out of estate agency. If you find it, we have ups and downs. I've had days where you think, okay, no, like when you have bad days. But and on bad days, let's talk about that, because I want to do a blog on this for agents, in that there's a lot of I have bad days, right? And I write off the day as a bad day, but I allow myself 20% of my year to be bad days. I'm not like, I've got to switch my mindset out of this bad day. Like, I just go with it. It's a bad day. I'm not going to do too much that I need to be in a good mood over. I'm going to do other stuff, but I've had my bad day for this week, and then you can't allow yourself to have any more bad days. Quite interesting that approach.
No, 100%. So mindset's really important. For me, again, language is important. So, every day's a discovery day, So what can I learn today? What can I discover today? And you're right. The agency is a roller coaster. We know it. We're going to have some amazing days, and we're going to have some absolutely shocking days. We're going to lose big sales, but actually the next customer who calls doesn't know that we've just lost a 20 grand fee, and if we don't have that same energy, same passion, same enthusiasm for them, they're going to go elsewhere.
What's interesting on that is that I never allow lost instructions, fall throughs, to give for that to be the cause of my bad day, because I've got what I twig really well is expectations. So that's part of the process of being an estate agent. So if one sale's made your pipeline wipe out entirely and now you're not banking for 3 months, the problem isn't with the fall through, it's with what you've not been doing 3 months ago, and you should really check yourself on that. So I lost a client the other day to a cheap agent. We're not all machines, but that's part of the process, because I won another 2. So it's and I'm a massive fan of, if you're winning 80-90%, your fees are too low. You should be converting at 50% and getting half of the ones you lose back at the fee you wanted in the first place, and a more motivated seller. The hard part of that is getting yourself 10 appraisals a week to allow yourself to lose 5. But anyway, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's great. So Assad, brilliant agent, Mr. Power. Andy Overman, I love the job as much today when I started 27 years ago, so happy anniversary. You can tell Perry is the same top agent. Eddie, the energy from you both is excellent. Thank you. I have bad days if I switch off, I'm back the next day. Andy, ask you a quick question. What's an agent assistant, please?
So it's so how our model operates, and it's we operate for. So we've got a self-employed model, but we're very I almost think we're becoming like the hybrid of the hybrid. So and there's a million definitions out there. Like, we're just good estate agents. Forget if we're online, offline, hybrid, high street, blah blah. So agent assistants, our model works very simply. We've got 12 agents, and we've got 4 agent assistants, and then we've got 3 viewing assistants. The agents do what they're skilled to do, which is they do prospect, they're listing, they're negotiating, they're following up. They can't be in 7 places at once. So we've got a viewing assistant team, because I want to make sure that the brand can offer viewings until 8 o'clock at night, 7 days a week. If one of our agents has got a couple of kids, that's not fair on their family life. It's got to be a real balance. So, but we're set up for performance. So the girls, the agent assistants, pretty much organise everything in the agent's day. So it's like a PA in Australia, but we've just called it agent assistants because it's more palatable for the client. You know, here's my card, mobile number's on there. If you can't get me, ring the office. You'll get one of my assistants, and they can help you.
Fantastic. So I'm really grateful for your time. I know you've got your lunch. I can see it. I can see it on the table behind you. Natasha's very good. You talked about self-improvement, and you talk about you put an hour in your day to watch YouTube videos. What, apart from John McGrath, what else have you watched recently, you read recently, that you could recommend?
So I watch more than I read, because I read really slow. Audio books, as you probably know, I'm listening over and over again to Royston's book, Built to Grow. Really, really good book about business growth. But I'll just go on YouTube and I'll just go search for Warren Buffett. I love Warren Buffett. I think he's awesome, and because he's a real introvert, odd job. Like, he's really odd in his approach to stuff, and so I'm a massive fan of what time I finish. I might do half an hour of self-improvement or 15 minutes. Like, it just has to be something. And then I was on Count to Queen of the South on Netflix. It's epic, Queen of the South.
Is it? Yes,
yeah.
That's my favourite Scottish football team. Don't ask me why, but for some reason it is. Okay, so one final question then. Having a mentor. So, I've seen Royston speak a couple of times. I think he's absolutely exceptional. I know that you stalked him and he had to put a restraining order on you, but you still managed to persuade him to work with you. Importance of having a mentor, and how it's changed your business.
So massively. If the thing is a mentorship, and before I could afford a mentor, like, people were my mentors without realizing it. So, I'll be doing research and all I could about McGrath's. I'll be copying stuff off their, not copying, imitating with my own version, stuff on their website, all that kind of stuff. But what you get with a proper mentor is the accountability side. And so our self-employed agents, they're accountable to themselves only. If they don't achieve what they want, what we agree they're setting out to achieve, it's on their head as much as it is mine. So I help them to be better. But the accountability side is really important. I'll ring our guys on a Friday. It's like, why you got an appraisal in the diary on a Friday? Oh, they really need it. No. Thursday night, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the evening. Like, get your 2 days clear, but your Saturday, Sunday's 2-day recuperation. It's because you got to go like a machine during the week. Even some nights still, I don't roll until 8 o'clock at night and the kids are in bed. Not ideal, but it's a sacrifice you make to see them for 2 days at the weekend.
Brilliant. Perry, you've been amazing. Really grateful for your time. Thank you for everything you shared. Thank you everybody for watching today. Really grateful. So like it, share it. I'm sure Perry will post it on 250 groups. But thanks a lot. If you're watching on replay, thanks for joining us. and have a really good Thursday afternoon, weekend, whenever you watch it. So thanks a lot, Perry. Been absolutely amazing. Really grateful for your time. So thank you. Thank you, Andy Oberman, for your kind words. Appreciate it. See you all soon. Bye.
Bye.